Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. Starting off this video barefaced today because I am sharing my 2021 makeup favorites with you. The makeup that really stood out to me. Some of these are the same as last year, some of these are new additions. So I hope you'll enjoy. This is my skin at the moment. It's not its best, but it's also not its worst. I've got like a few blemishes and so on, but yeah, I'm just going to be doing my makeup as I usually would with my favourite products of 2021. Starting off with primer, this is the Rhodial Instant Filler Primer. For some reason, I haven't been able to find this for ages now, and I'm actually very nearly finished. This might even be the last time I'm able to squeeze some products out of it, but it's just a really nice primer. It goes on beautifully and it just makes my skin feel super soft. I will go ahead and also prime my eyelids with the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. I think this is a favourite that has practically never changed. I think for the years that I have been doing makeup favourites, this primer has always been featured. Primed and ready to go. So my foundation of choice this year, or last year technically, for 2021 is the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation. This is such a classic for so many people. In terms of application, I use a brush. This year I didn't use my beauty sponges too much, to be honest with you. Definitely favouring a brush. I can't believe that 2021 was actually the first time I got to try this foundation. How crazy. It's been so long. It's definitely been one of those that's been on my wish list for the longest time. I've wanted to try it for the longest time because it is just so well loved and so raved about. So very excited to have finally tried it this year, and honestly it just lived up to all the hypes, everything and more. I have two shades of this now. I have one which I call my winter shade and one which I call my summer shade, and I just adore them. So currently I am using light 4.5, which is the shade Vienna. Onto concealer, and I have been loving the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Stick Concealer. This is in the shade Medium Warm 07. I use this everywhere. I use this for blemishes. I use this under the eyes as well. The reason I really like this concealer is because it's so easy to apply and basically use all over the face. On days where I don't want to do foundation and go for anything too full coverage, what I will do is just use that concealer sort of like a foundation, I suppose, and put it in the areas where I need it the most. But it blends really nicely. It's really quite a creamy concealer. When or if I'm going for something a little more full coverage, I might go for a different concealer under my eyes to brighten it up a little bit, but for today, quite happy to go with this one all over. For this little patch here where I have a few blemishes that are a bit harder to conceal, the brush can sometimes move around product rather than sort of patching it in. So what I'm going to do is just using my fingers, and obviously as I'm talking it's quite hard to do, but when I use my fingers I just pat that on top and I feel like it offers a little extra coverage that way. And to keep everything in place that little bit longer, I use the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. These are so good. I don't know why I've never had a full size of this. I've always only ever had the minis, but I just think they're really great. It's a really great powder. I will apply that under the eyes to keep my concealer in place, and then I will also use it on the blemishes to keep that concealed all day as well. For my favourite brow duo, I have the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Eyebrow Pencil. That feels like a bit of a tongue twister to say that. And then also, no change here, the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. I do use other brow gels, but honestly I always go back to this one. I just think it's really great. I've got plenty of backups. I just love that. And the IT Cosmetics Brow Power has been really, really nice to use. It's got a spoolie on one end and then the pencil on the other. I really love that. I love a brow pencil that has a spoolie in there. It just saves you the hassle of having to carry around an extra spoolie as well. It's basically 2 in 1. So absolutely love that about this and all brow pencils with that. And then this brow pencil is a universal shade, so essentially it's meant to kind of match your eyebrows tone, or like your natural brow hairs, which I think is really great. It's genius. It works well for me, so fairly happy with this. This is the second time that I use this maybe, and I literally use it until the very end. I'm a big fan. By the way, if this isn't like in-depth enough for you, or if you'd like to see a little bit more about my eyebrows, like how I do them, how I tint them at home, how I trim them at home, how I groom them basically, then I did upload an in-depth video last year on my YouTube channel. So what I'll do is I will leave a link to that video so that you can check it out as well if you are interested in a little bit more in-depth about my brows and how I upkeep them basically. So that's my brows penciled in. I always think it looks so harsh on camera, it looks really strange, but then I go in with my brow gel and this literally just keeps it in place all day long. One thing I really love about this brow gel is that you have shorter bristles on one end and then long bristles on the other. So that's really good. If you have brow hair similar to mine where they are quite long, then the longer side bristles are really great at getting right in there. But equally, if you have shorter brow hairs or like thinner eyebrows, then you can use the shorter bristles instead. So it's really great for anybody basically. Onto bronzer, no change here, exactly the same bronzer as last year. This is Benefit's Hoola, which I just think is such a great all-rounder. They launched a Hoola Glow as well this year, which I use religiously in the summer. Absolutely loved it whilst on holiday, but when I'm in the UK and there's not so much sun around, then I just use the original Hoola. I really think it's great. Using this, of course, to bronze up my face a little bit to add in a little bit more colour back into the skin. And I've also just been using bronzer for eyeshadow. I've kept it really, really simple this year with eyeshadow. Over the past few years, I have tried to experiment a little bit more with eyeshadows and so on. But this year, I don't know, for some reason, I just really haven't been inclined to do that. And mostly have just been using my bronzer, whichever bronzer I use that day, as a wash of colour over my lids as well. And honestly, it's so easy to do and it saves having to carry around an extra product, so I have really been enjoying that. Don't get me wrong, there have been eyeshadow palettes that I have used if I've ever wanted to do a more interesting eye look, but as a general like day-to-day eyeshadow, it's really just been a wash of bronzer all over the lid. Just super easy to do, it just adds a little bit more colour back into the skin. Next up we have blush, and for my blusher I've been absolutely loving the Hourglass Vanish Sticks. These launched this year, but they have become such a staple within my makeup routine. I have 2 of these at home and then I have another in my makeup bag over at my boyfriend's house as well. It's just, I love this. I really am enjoying using these kind of stick blushes that are more of a creamy consistency, and admittedly they can look a little bit scary, like it's basically a huge blush stick and it does look scary. It definitely scared me at the start, but what I do is just use my brush, my blush brush, get some of the product onto my brush. I may have done a little bit too much there, but we'll see. Get some onto my brush and then just apply. Okay, yeah, a little bit too much, but we will blend it out. It will be all right. But yeah, I'm just absolutely loving blush at the moment. It's something that towards the start of the year, like at the beginning of the year, I wasn't really into blush that much. I was just, don't even think I was using it, to be completely honest with you. I just wasn't that keen on it. But I'd say from like the summer onwards, I became absolutely obsessed with blush, to the extent that now I do think I'm overusing it quite a bit, I have to be honest, particularly a colour like this actually. So this is in the shade Sacred and it's definitely quite a bright pink, and it's one that I probably used more in the summer, whereas now I do have some darker shades of the blush, but because this was my most used, I did want to share this lighter one with you. But I do think that this one looks better on tanned skin, a little bit, just a little more flattering I suppose, on a more tan skin as opposed to being quite pale as I am at the moment. But I'm just loving blush right now. I don't know what it is about it. I just really enjoy applying it, like quite a lot of it. I don't know if it's one of those cases that eventually I will look back and be like, oh my gosh, why did I ever wear that much blush? But for now, really enjoying it. I think it looks quite different and I'm just a fan of it. As I said, I did go a little bit heavy, so I'm just going to go back in with my foundation brush that I used and pat over the top of that, which will help dull down the colour a little bit. No change when it comes to lashes either. I'm still loving L'Oreal Lash Paradise in Waterproof. Honestly, I sometimes think to myself, let me try a new mascara, let me see how it fares, and just nothing compares to this. I really adore it. For my eyelash curlers at the moment, I am using Tweezerman. I have 2 pairs of Tweezerman eyelash curlers actually, and I do think in terms of lash curlers and pricing, these are actually very good. You can also pick them up in Boots and Superdrug, which is very good because it just means you can get them quite easily. I have had some more expensive eyelash curlers in the past, but I think Tweezerman are excellent. If you have straight eyelashes like me, then curling your eyelashes is not a step to be missed. It just makes such a huge difference for me. For a quick comparison, this is 1 layer of mascara and obviously curled, etc., and this is nothing. I really think that it takes time to master like your own routine for your lashes, because it really depends on the type of eyelashes that you have. I used to try so many different things and different hacks and different tips until I sort of found this little mascara hack that works well for me, but it's worth testing and trying. I did my testing and trying for a good few years until I became happy with this eyelash routine. Basically, this is just a few coats of the Lash Paradise mascara. I do think with this mascara what you get is length and obviously the staying power, because they will not budge. However, they're not so great at offering like huge amounts of volume. So when I do want more volume with my lashes, when I want more of a like voluminous, almost like spidery lash look, I will add more mascara on top, like different brands, and just do it that way so that I'm not layering on too much waterproof mascara. I will go for other types of mascaras, but as I'm just filming this, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it as is. What I am going to do though is use a different mascara for my bottom eyelashes, because once again, I don't think that my bottom lashes need a waterproof mascara. They don't need the staying power for my lower lashes. Currently, I'm using the Maybelline Lash Sensational. This is the full fan effect, so it's actually a really nice one to add volume to the top if I do want to add extra volume there, but for now I'm just going to use this on my lower lashes. For lipstick, this is a cult classic. It's Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk. Very nearly finished this one. Definitely going to need a top up, but it's one that whenever I use it I get questions about it. I get asked about which lipstick I'm using, and it's just one that I've been reaching for so much. It's definitely one of those that if I'm not quite sure what to go for, or if I don't really know what kind of shade I want, then Pillow Talk is usually the one that I gravitate towards. It's just a really pretty pink. Very easy to apply, feels nice and creamy and soft on the lips as well. It's just a classic. And finally, a spritz of Max Fix Plus. This is like one of their collaborations that they did. So this one is called Compassion, but honestly I just dip in and out of different Max Fix Plus products. I really do like them. I don't find that they vary too much either, so whichever collection they come from, they still do a perfect job at setting my makeup. So that's that, a full face of my 2021 makeup favorites. Really hope that you enjoyed watching this. Let me know if throughout this year you would like to see more beauty here on my channel. I do try and include beauty every now and again, but I know it's not something that I focus on too much, so hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. Let me know if you do want to see more of these kind of videos, and I can definitely work on more beauty kind of videos. Let me know as well in the comments down below which were your favourite makeup products of 2021. I would absolutely love to know and be introduced to some new makeup favourites as well, so definitely comment down below your favourites. A very big thank you for watching today's video. As always, I will see you all soon in my next video. Bye!